Today, Grammy is tie-dyeing again, and this time it's Elden ring. And it's a spiraled pattern that I am using. So basically, you wash your t-shirt, you soak it for 30 minutes in soda ash, and then you wring it out till it's just damp. And then you form the spiral by holding the center and gently twisting it till you get that nice circle pattern in your shirt. Then make sure you use plenty of rubber bands to keep it in that shape. For this particular dye, I'm doing a new process, and this was my first attempt at it. So what you do is you put your colors down on the bottom of a bucket. I know this is a bowl, but a bucket is better, and that's what I recommend. So it keeps the shirt in a tight position, face down on this colors. So for the bottom, these colors I chose, I wanted it to resemble kind of like molten lava in the cracks of the shirt. And so that was my vision. So I first put yellow, and you can see a dark yellow in the bottom of this bucket. And then on the opposite of the yellow, I'm putting black. And so then I'm going to come back and put on either side of the yellow, I'm using just deep orange. So I'm just doing, the warm colors on this. So I'm going to do deep orange, and I'm going to mirror that on either side of this yellow. And then I'm going to go to my first red, which is fire red, after I get the orange on there. And you notice I spilled some, and basically I'm just scraping the orange together to form my my line. But there's a little bit of orange and black, which, happy little accidents happen from time to time in tie-dye. And we just kind of have to roll with the punches on it. So as you can see, be careful when you're doing this process. And I'm going to be putting my deep orange. I finished my deep orange. I'm going to my fire red. And then after I do my fire red, I'm going to do cardinal red. And so that is a deeper red. And then, of course, then there's the black. And so after you get your dyes placed on the bottom of the bucket, the next thing you're going to need to do is you're going to put your shirt right on top of that dye. And so you have to do it carefully, and be mindful that you're not going to move it once you put the shirt down, because you're really making sure that dye adheres to that bottom of that shirt spiral. And so what I'm doing is this is like a new technique for me, but it is really important that you put that shirt face down onto that dye, and then you push it down really hard to make sure that it is properly adhered. And then once you do that, I was making sure that I got the words "you dyed" in an area where I thought there would be less dark dye and more light dye. That's why I paused a little bit. So now I'm going to be putting a single layer of ice on top of this shirt. And once, just be careful with this. It's really easy to over ice. And the key is on this dye that you do not want your shirt to float in your bucket. And so you just have to trust the process and only put that single layer of ice. And after you have your single layer of ice, then you're going to use your dyes that will help bring contrast to the colors that you put underneath the shirt, which are on the bottom of the bucket. So for this, since Elden ring has like parchment, and it's basically, it has a lot of medievalness. I tried my best to replicate what I thought parchment would be with a light yellow and a little bit of wet sand. That's the best I had on hand to have a light brown. And it was rustic. It turned out okay. I wish I had a little bit lighter brown, but there you go. You can't go back. But I think the shirt turned out nice. So after this process, you let the ice melt, and then you make sure that your shirt's not floating. If it's floating like mine did, I put a heavy like water bottle on top so it made that shirt sit back down on the dye. And so then after the ice melt, I waited 12 hours and let this shirt just sit in the muck for 12 hours, and then we rinsed out. So basically overnight, and then we rinsed out. And I appreciate my daughter Amber for rinsing for me. And then we wash out, and then you'll see the finished product. Now, I did go over the words in black so they'd stand out a little better. It says, "You died." So tell me what you think. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.